welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today we're going to turn all of these apples into a few different recipes. Now each recipe is going to have its own video, so keep an eye out for those. We are going to use my dehydrator to make some apple chips. We're going to make some more apple butter because it's my dad's favorite. We're going to make homemade applesauce, and we're going to use the leftover scraps to make homemade apple cider. The first thing we're gonna have to do for all of these recipes is get these apples peeled, cored, and sliced. So let's go ahead and do that now. So the first thing we wanna do is get a nice large bowl with some water and lemon juice. This will prevent the apples from browning as they kind of oxidize in the air. So if you just sprinkle in some lemon juice to your water, it will prevent that. Then we're going to want to wash our apples. Up next, we're going to peel and slice and core our apples using this tool here. So you're just going to skewer this onto the end and start turning. And it is that simple. This machine will slice them into rings. I am going to take off any of the ones that have skin. You know, it missed a few pieces of skin here. It's really not a huge deal. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice them in half like that and toss them in our water to make sure it doesn't turn brown. Now, I'm not going to get rid of these cores or these peels because that is what we're going to use to make our vinegar. So let's keep going. About an hour and a half later, we finally got all of these apples peeled, cored, sliced, all of that. I'm going to save the scraps for our vinegar, and here are the apples for our recipes. So let's go. To make our applesauce, I'm actually going to use my electric roaster. You can do this in a large pot on the stove. I just find the roaster to be very easy and convenient. So I'm going to turn this on about 300 degrees. I'm going to add 2 cups of water to the bottom of my pan. And then I'm going to add in what's left of my apples. I would say it's probably 10 to 12 pounds worth of apples here. You know what? I probably have closer to 18 pounds. Look at all these apples. This is crazy. But we're going to have tons of delicious applesauce that we can and just eat plain. We can make it cinnamon sugar. We can, you know, put it in recipes to replace oil. Anything we want to do, we can use our own processed apples now. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this up to about 400 just to get this starting to boil. And again, I'm going to break up some of these chunks just so that they cook even faster. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid on and let this heat up, and we're going to get it to a nice boil. And we're going to stir it constantly for about 30 minutes to an hour until I like the consistency, and then that will pretty much be done. It has been about 40 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and use my immersion blender here to just puree up this applesauce because I want it a lot smoother than it is currently. If you don't have an immersion blender, you could just scoop this out and put it in a blender. It just takes a little bit longer. This looks great. Now at this point, if you wanted to add you know, added sugar or, you know, cinnamon or something like that, this is when you would add it and cook it for another 15-20 minutes or so. I am not going to add any sugar, cinnamon, or anything like that because I'm going to use this in different recipes just to replace oil. I also just like to eat plain unsweetened applesauce. And so let's let this cook just a little longer to get some of this extra moisture out. The consistency looks really nice though, so just a few more minutes and then this will be ready to can up. All right, I think our applesauce is ready. It's nice and thick. It has just tiny little chunks here and there, which I like. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. And now this is ready to jar up. So I'm gonna fill a large stock pot here. This is my pressure canner, but we are gonna just use it for water bath canning. I'm gonna fill it about halfway to 3/4 of the way full with hot water and get it boiling on the stove. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn our burners on high and get our water boiling. While we wait for our water to start boiling in our canners, we are going to fill quart jars with our homemade applesauce. I'm going to be using my large funnel for canning and a 1.5 cup measuring cup. Now we want to leave about a 1/2 inch of head space on these, which just means from the top of the applesauce to the top of the jar, we want a 1/2 inch of space. This will just prevent any, you know, accidental leaking, you know, exploding, not sealing properly, things like that. All right, I don't have quite enough left to fill really anything, so I'm just gonna divvy it out and put it in the fridge for a little snack later. Okay, now that we have a rolling boil in our pot, we're gonna go ahead and add our jars using our canning tongs. Now I have a trivet in the bottom of this so that the jars themselves don't touch the bottom of my stock pot. You can use anything like a dish towel or anything like that. You just don't want the glass making contact with the really hot bottom. I can fit one more in there. So I have 2 here that didn't fit, so we'll just reuse this pot and water when this is all done. So applesauce needs 20 minutes of water bath canning, so I'm not going to lock this lid. I'm just going to set it on top. It is not pressure canning, it's just water bath canning, so I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. Okay, my apple butter is done using this canner, so I'm going to go ahead and put the last 2 jars of applesauce in it. It does need to get back up to a rolling boil. It's not boiling right now before I start my timer. It also looks like I need to add some water because it does need to cover the top of these cans. So I'm just going to add some more hot water to this until it covers our lids about 1/4 inch. And there we go. All right, our timer has gone off. So I'm going to go ahead and remove our lid and turn the heat off and let these cool down for just a little bit before taking them out and drying them off. All right, we have our other 2 jars of applesauce boiling away in this canner, and these have cooled enough that we can pull them out and dry them off on our dish mat. And once they cool, we need to remember to label them. As these jars cool, I've been hearing popping, which is a wonderful sound because it means they're sealing. So these are sealed. Now listen, that one is not. So you need to make sure that all of your seals are See, that one's not sealed either. You want to make sure all of your jars are sealed before you store them. If they don't seal, you need to just use that one first and put it in the refrigerator. So we'll give this a little bit more time because they're still very, very hot, so they still could be sealing. So we'll just leave them alone to cool, and then we will label them with what they are. Now that our jars are somewhat cooled, we're gonna go ahead and label these with what they are and the date that we jarred them. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel for more content like this. And I hope to see you guys again very soon. Thanks guys, bye.